I'm here twofold. One, to help you with Medicare, and also for self-defense for older people. For good for anyone, but especially older people. So one of the greatest strengths of your organization is how you help people navigate real life challenges. And Medicare is one of those areas where a little knowledge can make a huge difference for you financially, medically, and emotionally. So today we'll explore it a little bit and see. Now, I must tell you, it changes every year, though, so you won't be quizzed on it. So I made this little graph up because I just thought it was a little easier to follow. And so how many of you are on Medicare? Okay, so for almost everybody. How many of you are turning 65 in the next year? I know you are. Okay. Is anybody on TRICARE?
I am.
Okay. But I also work with people on TRICARE. So what I want to talk about is Medicare Part A and Part B, just for a minute. And it changes every year with Medicare Part A. They have their deductible goes up, and how that works. Because some people are like, well, I'll just stay on Medicare and get a drug plan. Well, the problem being, you could be paying forever. There's no cap on how much money you could pay out. So this year, it's a $1,736 deductible before Medicare even starts paying, and then you have to pay 20%. And it has to be something that they cover. So just to make that clear. And if you, let's say you go in the hospital, you pay that deductible, and you don't go back in the hospital for 90 days, well, the deductible starts over. So after 60 days, to them you didn't pay. But you can use any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare. And your Part A, I'm sure none of you are paying for that. It's very few times I see people paying anything for that. But, and that Part A is your hospital, and that's what Part A covers. Part B, you pay something for, $283 a month, comes out of your Social Security for Part B, and that is considered for doctors and so on. Let's see about that. And these are funded by the federal government. Now, if you have TRICARE, so you have Medicare and you have TRICARE for life, or CHAMP VA. So I have plans that I have put people in where it just enhances their TRICARE. So what they got with their TRICARE, it didn't change anything about their TRICARE. It gave them dental, vision, hearing. They also got their Part B money back into their Social Security check. So that money that they were taking out, they got like $185 back every month in their check. They got money for over-the-counter products. So it gives you like all the extra little perks, but it does not affect your TRICARE. So your TRICARE you still have. And that is considered a Medicare Advantage plan, which a Medicare Advantage plan, typically what that is, it's Medicare. They have to give you the same thing Medicare gives you, but it gives you extras. So, for example, most of the plans include your drug coverage. Now, if you don't have drug coverage, you will get penalized by the government if you decide to get drug coverage down the road. So that's something that it's a must. So I met with a guy, he was like in his 90s, and he's like, well, I never had drug coverage, but I want it now. And I'm like, no, you don't. You're going to be penalized. You could buy your medicine for what they're going to penalize you every month. So it's something that the government does put a penalty on that lasts for life if you don't get a drug plan. So that's just a little thing I wanted to put in there. So Medicare Part C, Medicare Advantage, you probably have heard of that. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want a Medicare Advantage plan. It has its good points and its bad points. Like our medical in general really could use some updating. But Advantage plans include typically in dental, vision, hearing, drugs. So it includes all of that stuff. You have a cap on out-of-pocket. So, for example, with drugs right now, the cap is $2,100. So if you're on a real high-end medicine, after you hit $2,100, you won't pay anything else. And they also have caps on out-of-pocket for your medical care. So, and they're all different by different carriers. But let's say you have one that has a $5,000 out-of-pocket, which typically most people don't hit that unless they have a really. I hit it one time because I was in a car accident and my medical bills were crazy. But if you hit that amount, and they change every year, they change by carrier, then you will pay no more on anything. So there's all those little glitches. Medicare Advantage, they have HMOs and PPOs, and in HMO, you're limited to in-network. PPOs, you can go out-of-network. And that I go over with when I have a client and whatever they decide on. Now, if you have TRICARE, and let's say you have a carrier like Devoted. When you go into your doctor's office, you give them your your TRICARE card, and you give them your Devoted card, and they coordinate the benefits. So your Devoted card pays first, and TRICARE picks up the balance. So that you're not losing out on anything. They pick up. You still don't have to pay anything. And also for some things, like dental, the Devoted plan for TRICARE people this past year gave them $1,000 in dental. And so she was going to be here tonight, but she couldn't be. She had some dental work done. She didn't really have the coverage for it. She's on TRICARE, and she told me, oh, I got a check for $1,000. Same with glasses and things. So there's advantages. Most of the people from TRICARE, and I do a lot with TRICARE people, they want the extra stuff at no charge because they're still getting all their medical paid for, but they're getting perks with it too. Yeah. Like they give them $100 quarterly over the counter, which means you can go in the pharmacy and buy Band-Aids, cough medicine, a walker, whatever you need, and it's paid for. So it does have its good advantages. The Medicare Advantage plans vary by carrier. Now, most of them are no charge per month, but they do have some that have a charge. So when I sit down with a client, we look at everything. I have a few people on a paying plan because there was something in that plan that's specific to them. But most of them are a 0 per month charge. Those are funded to the different carriers by the government. They pay these carriers X amount of dollars for each person. And then that carrier takes that money and they do within their plan, that's why some offer different things, they do within their plan whatever they want to do with that particular plan. So it seems like the TRICARE plans are the heaviest this past year. They were really the heaviest. But there are other carriers in the area, and depending on what your needs are, that's what we look at. You do have an opportunity to change your plan in January, February, and March of each year. So let's say you got on a plan in January and something happened now, you're like, no, that one isn't going to work for me. You do have that 3-month gap where you can change it. Annual enrollment starts in October 15th through December 8th. And that's when you can enroll in these plans, the Advantage plans. So those are always a good thing. They also have, the prescription drug plans, if you are on just Medicare by itself, like I said, you have to purchase a prescription drug plan. Those two vary by carrier, by your medicine. You may pay $300 for your medicine with one carrier and pay $30 with the next. That's kind of a situation I was in. I was on one plan, and then they put me on Eliquis. And I'm like, I'm not paying all that money for Eliquis, so let me look at the plans and see which one I can get. It's going to bring the cost down for me. And I was able to switch to another plan where I only paid $30 for it. So for me, that was a good switch. And so I get people that like during the time when they're signing up or when they can change it, if they're on like Ozempic or one of those high-end things, we find a plan with the cheapest, because that's what's important to them. So most of the plans give you a free gym membership to Silver Sneakers. That's another thing you get. The home, or the, what is that on video, health? Telehealth. Telehealth. Those give you that at no charge, so you can call. And if you don't feel like going to the doctors, you're like, I know what's wrong with me, I have it all the time, I just want a prescription. So you can do that too. So most of the plans, the family doctor, there's no charge for at all, and specialists have a little bit of a charge depending on the plan that you're on. But what I look for when I sit down with you, I want to know your doctors, all the medicines you're on. And I also want to know, like, what is important to you. And typically it's cost for most people. I don't want to pay $1,000 a month for my drugs. So I run all your medicines, I run your doctor, your specialist, the hospitals, all the hospitals here in most plans. And then we see, okay, based on what you told me and what I put in here, this is what shows up. And which one of these, let's go through them and make sure you understand. Now, if you're not on TRICARE and you have an Advantage plan, you are going to have some copay. So that's really an important thing to look at when you are looking at your plan. Some of them offer, what is that when they give you the needle? Acupuncture. Yeah, some of them have acupuncture that they offer now. So there are a lot of different things. Drugs are put on formularies. So like I said, the one plan I was on, I would have had to pay $300 for Eliquis because that's the way they had it on their formulary. And when I flipped over, I paid $30 because that's how they have it on their formulary. So it's kind of a give and take, and it's all on what you need. The way things are now, which are pretty crazy, I have to tell you, you really need someone, whether it be me or somebody else, to be your advocate, because there are so many things that you just don't know. They could deny you, and I'll tell you, I just went through a denial myself. I started having heart problems, so they did all their things. Well, then they're like, well, we want to do a heart cath and see if you have blockage. Okay, great. My insurance denied it twice. By AI, because AI is involved a lot in that now. So I told the doctor, this is what we're going to do. We're going to file an appeal. Because they passed a law now through Medicare, they have to, if you apply for a rapid appeal, they have to let me know in 72 hours.
Oh, wow.
So you used to wait weeks for those. So we filed the appeal. I told them everything they needed to do with it, and it was new. And they approved it because it actually went to a person. I went in, and they found a 90% blockage in my main artery. Now, what if I would have just said, well, they denied it, there's nothing I could do. And only 7% of people on Medicare who do get those denial letters actually file appeals. But yet, when you file appeal, over 85% of them get approved. If they don't approve it, then we file another one. For anything, really. There are so many things you could file appeals for. So, and then I have people who, they go to the hospital. I had a client, he goes, well, I had to go to the ER, and they told me if I paid this, I could get it cheaper. I go, yeah, but do you realize your copay is cheaper than that? So we filed to get his money back. So it's like you have to stay so on top of this, because they will take every penny off of you, and not everybody's the same. Everybody is different, in what they need, and kind of need somebody overseeing all that to make sure, that you're getting the best health care and you're not spending all the money that they want you to spend. Because we do have, like Canyon Vista is a for-profit hospital. So I had to go there for a blood test. I was so mad because I could get it free at my doctor's office. But I had to get it there because the surgery was the next day and they needed to have the blood test. So I ended up paying $70 for something I could have got free, which $70 was outrageous to start with. But I got stuck in that situation. So, I don't know, I might send it into my insurance carrier and see if they'll pay any of it. And then for people that are, oh, and I wanted to tell you on, there's also plans for people that are on Medicaid and go on to Medicare. And those are special plans. They're really very, very lucrative plans. They also pay your Part B, that $203 that I told you about, they pay that. So you don't have to pay that. They give you a drug, it's called LIS, Limited Income Subsidy. Anybody could get this who has a limited income. And what that is, there's various levels of it, but they pay, you don't pay a lot for your drugs. I think they tier the drugs, like a tier 3 is a specialty drug like Aliquis and stuff like that would go on that tier. You pay the most you'll pay is $11. So a lot of people don't realize that, so I'll file that for them, because that files through Social Security.
And what is the limited income limit?
Well, for one person right now this year it's around 17,000. Yeah, because I wanted to do that for your mom. But, so it's not a lot of income, but there's some people, their income isn't that high. So it's just ways to get you things that you wouldn't otherwise know about. So I try to look at everything we can for you. I've gotten grants for people outside of Medicare. I had a gentleman, he has MS and he had to get home infusions. Well, Aetna, who pulled out of our area last year, used to pay the administrative fee, which is about $300. But then none of the other carriers will pay it. And I'm like, well, let's apply for a grant. No guarantees, let's just see. And thank God he got the grant. So he doesn't have to pay anything. I'm working with a woman now with cancer to see if we could cut through some private companies, cut back some of what she has to pay out. So I can't guarantee stuff like that. It's outside of Medicare, but I will always give it a shot. And, see what we can do. I'll look into things like that, too.
Oh, I just wanted to tell you another thing that they offer. Me and my husband, we're both on Devoted. And as soon as you sign up for Devoted, they'll ask, they'll send you this questionnaire. And it has to do with what medications you're taking. And it has nothing to do with how much money you make. It just has what to do with medications you're taking. And because of the medications my husband and I are taking, we each get $55 a month for food. Of course, you only can buy healthy type foods. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing as people who are on the food stamp type thing. But it's still, between the two of us, we can, every month, we can buy $110 worth of food. So that's another thing, depending on which plan you're on. We're on Devoted, but other plan, I'm not sure how other plans work. But
no, the plan that we talked about with Medicaid, they usually give you a food allowance, too, on that.
Unless you're a veteran.
Huh?
Unless you're a veteran, then you don't get it.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't
On
heard
Devoted,
that.
you still, because we're both veterans. And
They're veterans.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a veteran devoted that I don't qualify for it.
What plan are you on? Do you know the last three numbers? There's only one. It's 002. I think are the last numbers on it. Or you have to be on Medicaid to get the food. But the regular plans, you can't. It's very limited plans that give you food.
Well, this is because I get most of my treatment at the VA.
It doesn't have anything
because
to do
it
with
was
that.
connected, and with what the plan I was put on, because they give me X amount of dollars a month back.
Yeah.
And stuff. It's only $127 a month that I give back, but you don't qualify to get that food card.
They don't offer it on that plan.
No.
They don't have it on
Not
that
all
plan.
plans offer it.
No, Devoted only has 2 plans that offer that. And you have to have
But you have to be on the right medication.
You have to be on the right
to
medication.
give it to you.
Or you have to be on Medicaid.
Right.
Yeah, and Medicare. Because they do have different carriers have plans that do that, and they are really good plans. But not every plan offers that. So, and then they have chronic illness plans. I don't think the chronic illness plans are that great because they don't really seem to give too much through some of the carriers. But I'll be getting all the changes in the fall going into next year. So every year things change, they add or they take away or, so on. And I do have a plan for people with heart and kidney problems. But the only thing is I only have a couple people on it and they give food. they give you a cell phone, they give you a cleaning woman, they give you the whole 9 yards. But here's the problem. Most of the doctors aren't in this area, they're up in Tucson. So if I put there's no doctors down here at this point, you've got to go to Tucson to get that. I mean, it's a great plan, otherwise they pay nothing for anything, but that is a hassle. So, a couple of them are complaining about it now, and I'm like, well, I did tell you that. So, it's like heart or diabetes.
Yeah.
But it gets a lot of the extra benefits, so. And I do talk to the carriers and try to get, a lot of the doctors never heard of it, they need to get people in this area to, push it with them, call the carrier and push some of the doctors. So,
Is this so complicated because the government's got its finger in it? Is that why it's so complicated? I've got a postgraduate degree. I'm not gonna be proud here, but I struggle with this stuff. Am I alone in that?
No, and actually, it is, that's why I said, everybody needs somebody to put it into English for.
Yeah.
To do this, well, I had to get my health license. Then I have to take a test every year, it's like a countrywide test. You have to get at least an 80 or 90%. I have to test with every carrier, and you have to get at least an 80 or 90% on those and they're not easy tests. And you have to get that. I have to carry my insurance for it. So there's a lot that goes into it.
Okay.
And I do a lot of research because, everybody's case is different. It really is. And for somebody to try and figure it out themselves, good luck is what I say.
Yeah, it almost looks like it's a practical impossibility.
Well, I think they make it that way on purpose.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is that a government thing? I mean, they did it that way to
I think so.
trip you up, or?
Because it is. Everybody I talk to says, I don't know how you know that, because I put a lot of time into it and do a lot of studying and have to pass a lot of exams. And every year I have to do all that, not just once. Every year, because things change.
Yeah.
So I have to stay on top of it. Now, all the changes will be coming down the pike for 27, and so we'll get little bits and pieces, but they will not, the Center for Medicare Services has what they call final rule, and that won't be effective until October 1st. So we're not allowed to tell anybody anything until October 1st as far as changes, because they're not 100% in place. But you kind of have an idea, what's going on. But we know nothing until like right before we have to get out there and sell the product. And I do want to add, there's no charge for my service. The carriers pay me, not the clients. So, doesn't matter what I do for you, there'll never be a charge.
Kind of like a travel agent, huh?
Kind of,
Yeah.
Except I don't get to
That's
go
much fun.
anywhere.
You don't get to go
Yeah,
nowhere.
that's fun.
Maybe they'll fix something for you.
Yeah, really. And I mean, they are strict with their agents. You can't do this, you can't do that, you have to do this. I told my husband the first year, I go, I just want to let you know I'm probably going to jail. So, because there's just so many things, and so don't even try to understand it. It's too confusing. Have someone help you. Like I said, whether it be me or somebody else, everybody needs an advocate in their corner, because you will never work your way through that system.
Well, they say to switch, every year they say, well, switch, but I mean, I'm with United Healthcare. How would I know what to switch to?
You wouldn't. See, and United Healthcare really is kind of going downhill.
Is it?
But I call my clients
I'm on a
every
sinking
year.
ship?
Yeah. I call my clients every year. I usually call them around August, September, and I set up an appointment and say, I'm going to come over, or you come to my office, and we're going to go over everything new. And then we're going to see, because your needs might change. You might feel in some medicine now that it's totally different, come the fall. So I go over it with I meet with all of them, and go over everything so that they know what's new out there, and have no questions on what's new out there. And then some change every year. I've had some that've been on the same plan, but it works for them. My husband never knows what plan he's going.
It seems like we should have a bot on our side that we can access to.
Yeah, and you know, so much is being done by AI now that it's
Yeah.
horrible. Like I said, my 2 denials were by AI, and I was so mad, and I called the insurance company, and I'm like, I know AI denied it, and they go, well, no. I go, yes, they do. I looked up the company. So
Oh.
that's why I told the doctor, this is how we're gonna do it, and I filed that appeal. Now, had I not,
So now we got the machines against us too.
yeah. Had I not filed that appeal, I could have had a heart attack. I was 90%, that was the widowmaker, they said, that I had. And so, yeah, so you really, like I said, whether it's me or whether it's someone else, don't fight the battle alone. You don't have to. It doesn't cost you any money. And you'll at least be up on everything that you need to be up on.
So what is the age that you need to sign up or start signing up? And then
Well,
when do you actually get it?
If you are not working, you could sign up at 62, but you get less money, so you're better off waiting until you're 65. But you have a 7-month window, 3 months before your birthday, the month of your birthday, and 3 months after. I always tell people sign up 3 months before your birthday, and then it'll be in effect the day 1 of your birth month. And we can go over all the plans and see what works for you. And then still between then and your birth month, you can change it as many times as you want. If you say, I got to thinking about it, I want a different one. So you want to do that if you're not working.
What if you are still working at 65?
If you are still working at 65 and you're going to continue to work, it will depend. If you're in a company with over 100 employees and they have good benefits, that's fine. You could just stay there until you're really ready to retire. If you're working with a company with under 20 employees or under 100, you got to sign up. So they have those laws. If you have an HSA and you're working, you've got to stop at 6 months before you're ready to retire. But I have people call me, say, well, I'm still going to work. What do I need to do? Well, you have how many employees? It has to be comparable to Medicare's plan, or they will penalize you. But most of the people that call, they work for the state or whatever, so they have good plans. So just work. Call me when you know when you're going to retire. Call me like 6 months ahead and say, I'm retiring next spring.
But also check with your HR department.
Yes.
My company.
They want you to get on Part A and stuff.
Yeah, they made me.
Yeah.
I was no longer eligible for their insurance.
Right, because some of them they don't, especially Part A, because that's free. They're like, sign up for Part A, and I tell people, if you want to sign up for Part A, sign up for it, because it's free. So it's not going to hurt you either way. But they have these little tiny rules in there that if you don't follow them, you could get yourself in a predicament. And I've had people who have done that. They've called me after the fact, and it's like, okay, well, this is what we got to do to get you straight. So, there's just a lot that goes on with that. They also have, when you're turning, well, they have it, you can be older, they're called Medicare supplements, Medigap, some people call them. Well, the best time if you're going to go on a Medigap is to do it when you're turning 65. That's when your rate is the lowest. You don't have to go through any underwriting, and you can get on it. Now, when I say the lowest, they're not cheap. But they do pay. There's only one plan I'd really like to sell because it covers everything. But you do have to buy a drug plan separate. You get no extras, no vision, no dental, nothing with those. But some people prefer those because they don't want to have to worry about co-pays and stuff, and they want to be able to go anywhere they want to go. I don't have a lot of people on those because of the price, but some people are like, I just don't want to be bothered. Now, if you're on a Medicare Advantage and you decide in 10 years, hey, I have a heart condition, I want to go on one of those medical supplements so I don't have to pay all this stuff. Not happening. They put you through underwriting, and they won't do it. They won't do it. So in other words, they'll only sell it to you if you're healthy, is how I see it. And if you have it and you do get real sick, well, you have it. but you can't really get it after you're real sick. Unless you were on one, and this happened with your mom, then we put her on a Medicare Advantage plan. Well, then her health started getting bad again. You have a 1-year window to switch back to the supplement without underwriting. So that's what we did for her. So it's like very technical, all of that. But, and you've got to be right on with the dates and all of that, so.
Question for you. Do you do Humana?
I do.
The reason we're asking is he was on Humana originally, but the county we live in up in northern Arizona will not cover him in Apache County. So can he get it down here since we're down here in the winter months?
Well, where are his doctors? Down here? They're all up there?
No, we're getting him set up with a primary care with VA.
Oh, gotcha.
But he was supposed to go March 23rd, but they canceled because the doctor left.
So you're up there now, or you're
No,
down
we're
there?
here now. We go back up there in May.
Okay, you go back up there in May.
And then we're back down here in
Well, there are
October.
some is he on like, the regional Humana plan should cover it. There's a, but
They sent us a letter saying because we live in Apache County, they would not cover it.
yeah, it would depend on the plan, because they do have some that cover you. Like I have a woman, I put her on a plan, and she actually moved out of the state, but she's still on the plan, so it depends. You have to look, that's something like specific to you.
I always thought they
Sure would
always
like to
covered
know
you
the
with
thick
the
if you
state
would,
you're
yeah,
in.
wouldn't
Yeah.
I think it goes to Apache County and then that over to me.
Does your doctor
Yeah.
take the plan? Is that, does your doctor take the plan?
Oh.
Yeah.
But Humana's the one denying it? See, that would be something I would fight.
Yeah, no, they knocked him off, what, a year ago?
Something like that.
And then what do you have now?
They put him on United Healthcare.
And they're going downhill, I heard.
Yeah, come see, make an appointment
You're
because.
gonna like this, Humana.
The sinking
Yeah.
ship.
So, since we're down here during the open enrollment time, can he enroll down here to make?
Yeah, he can enroll down here.
Okay, because we did register to vote down here, so.
Yeah, and you have an address down here, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that isn't a problem.
Yeah, it's
But-
in Whetstone.
Okay, that's Cochise County, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, although I could tell through the state. But yeah, make an appointment with me for open enrollment, and then we'll look at everything and make sure. And I don't like I'm certified with a lot of carriers. I have some that I like and have some that are really going downhill. So, yeah, United Health doesn't
She always did, too.
I fight with them a lot.
How about Humana?
I
Is
spent
that-
a year fighting
that-
with them, so I switched.
Humana, it depends, like, that's what I'm on now, they have their good and bad points, I get real mad at them sometimes. So it depends on your situation, you know, I have some people on carriers, they love them, never had a problem. Aetna was one of those when they were down here, they were fabulous, but then they pulled out. See, they pull out because they say they're not making enough profit. So that's their reason for pulling out of it.
We have a
Not
net, we have,
profitable enough.
I thought at one time Humana was gonna pull out of Cochise.
They did pull out
They
for a
did pull
while.
up, cause I was on it.
Yeah.
And then they
Because
pulled
I
out.
was on it too, and
Yeah,
then all
they
of a
did
sudden I
pull
had to
out.
go to United.
Yeah,
They
and I
did
did
pull
too,
out
and
and then they came back in.
Yeah,
after a year of
Dis-
fighting with
they sent me a
United,
letter
for
that I
every
was
little thing, I
disenrolled.
switched.
Yeah,
So I had to go to United.
yeah, they did that
Are
to a
you
lot
still
of
on
people.
United?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, and
I
they.
stayed on them for a year. Every single claim I put in, I had to fight, and I got tired of that, so this year I'm on devoted.
Yeah, so that's why it's good to have
Yeah.
someone sit with you and look at what you have and what you need, because.
What would we need to bring you to show you what he's got?
You could bring us insurance card, and I just need the red, white, and blue card when I sign you up, so that's it, and your drugs, your doctors and your drugs. And,
We don't know his doctor down here yet because they didn't.
yeah, well, at that point, you probably, I'm sure you.
Hopefully, but
And if
we're
not,
going
we could, you can go to any doctor, they always like a doctor's name for your card, but you're not stuck going to that doctor.
But they don't need it just to talk to you.
Yeah, no, you don't need the doctor just to talk.
Yeah, we're trying to establish PCPs down here for us, and we got me one. We're fighting for one for him.
Who'd you get?
Chelsea Finn.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I love her.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's different ones, and there could be newer ones coming
He
in.
was supposed to go to the VA March 23rd, and they called him and canceled it, said they'd call him and reschedule it.
Yeah. You're on TRICARE too? Okay. Yeah, and the plans for TRICARE, those are really good plans. Really good plans. Yeah,
So
you know that healthcare leaves a lot to be desired. They do a lot by AI. So,
We'll give you a call when we get back down.
yeah, call me early so I could, well, even call me like in the late summer because I get booked up.
Oh, okay.
And then I can put you on the books and we'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah. Any more questions on this?
Very helpful.
Oh, I hope it helped you, because it's a confusing subject.
Just a kind of a general question. They gave us a raise, a COLA, for Social Security, but then they zeroed it out with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that happens every
Do
year.
you think they did that on purpose?
I think they did.
Every year, if they gave you a COLA
I
raise,
felt a
Yeah,
little
they
bit.
raised the
raised
Part
those-
B.
They raised Part B.
So it cancels out. That's why I say on some of these plans that give you money back, at least you're getting a raise. Like the people on TRICARE, they got $185 raise in their Social Security. So, and then some of the other plans, you get like 125. So there are plans, you know, like that, but if you don't know about them. So, yeah, so you can give yourself a
Get
raise.
you coming and going, boy.
You can give yourself a raise, is what I say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it's worth seeing and looking. You know, it doesn't cost you anything, it might save you a lot of money, and you have a go-to. You don't have to sit on hold for 2 hours. You have a go-to person that'll intercede. So, that is my Medicare.
Thank you.
And now, I hope it helped some of you guys. And then I have my self-defense, which she asked me to talk about. So, this'll be, Lori is gonna pass this out.
You're not gonna know it yet.
Good, yeah. Okay. So, the name of the company that I work with is called Damsel in Defense. I don't know if you ever heard of it. But what I do is I teach safety using non-lethal weapons. I was doing classes, but I had to put my classes off for a little bit because of this heart issue. So I should be, like I could come out here and do a class for you guys if you want. But it's probably not going to be for like a month or two. But it's a good thing. So, some of the terrible statistics are 1 in 5 women are victims of sexual violence. That's a lot when you think about it.
I'm sorry, say again, 1 in 5.
1 in 5. And 1 in 3 women are victims of domestic. Yeah. So the stats are very, very bad. And even high school kids, I've taught high school kids. And men too,
College kids, yeah.
Yeah, college kids. I mean, men are victims of that also. So, what I teach in my class, first and foremost, is situational awareness. And I have this self-defense dummy I bring, and, you know, we use the weapons on it. But, so, you've got to be aware of your surroundings. That's number 1. We practice with the weapons, and I can't tell you, and I brought some weapons to show you. You have to practice. It has to be a part of you. You can't think about, well, let me hold on a minute while I get that out of my purse. And then start handing them all the stuff from your purse.
Here,
But,
this.
yeah. So it has to be an extension of you. And for different people, it's different non-lethal weapons. The non-lethal weapons will work against animals too, like javelina, coyotes, like the stun guns, they get afraid of that. So, I have striking tools. Well, I'll show you a couple things, just so you have an idea. Like this is a very popular stun gun, which I really am into the stun guns. They're a great weapon. Of course, they have to be right up on you, but nonetheless, it's scary. They're very small. I have different sizes. I don't know if any of you go to Grateful Goods on 6th Avenue, is that?
Yes, 112 6th Street.
6th Street, the second and the 4th Saturday of the month, I'm there and I have all my weapons there. But this is very small.
It's a vendor show.
It's a vendor show, they have a bunch of vendors.
The second and
there.
fourth Saturday.
The second, fourth?
Yeah, like we'll be there not this Saturday, the Saturday after. And, Carolyn has her candles, I have my stun guns. But this is very small, I have them smaller than this. But mine is smaller.
I'm sorry, my hearing isn't quite as good as it used to be. Is that a taser you got?
Yeah.
It's a stun gun,
Mine
yeah.
is a stun gun.
So, like, this is my son.
It's legal to use that?
They're legal,
Yeah.
yes, they're not gonna kill somebody. And these are really easy, they charge on the
Yeah,
bottom.
if you buzz them like dogs or have.
Yeah, dogs,
They get
javelinas.
afraid of them and will run the
Yeah,
other
they
way.
don't like that noise. And these are only $25, so it's, for the price, your life is worth it.
How about the safety too?
Oh, yeah, this one has the safety.
So somebody can't take it and use it on you.
So, this one has I have some with safeties and without. This has a safety. So if anybody gets scared if I make the noise. It has a
Don't point it
flashlight,
at
huh?
Don't point it at me.
Uh-oh.
You gotta touch it.
Woo.
Scared myself. So I squeeze it, it will knock down a 300-pound man. And,
Wow.
Would I?
No, let's that
I
joke
need to-
die out.
I need to
Let's
try.
get a live demonstration,
I'm
let's get a
nominating
live
Mark.
demonstration
Yeah.
down there.
But these are very effective. Even the noise scares me. But, it does give you that feeling of safety. I have something. If I need something, I have something.
Is that on TV, they always show something shooting out of a wire or something?
No,
Those
that's
are
a
tasers.
A taser is a little different. I don't recommend tasers.
Taser, you gotta, I think, be more certified to use, because if
Yeah.
you tase someone, they have to have usually
And-
medical attention afterwards.
And then you have to get the taser gun repacked, which
Mhm.
they're expensive. I could get tasers.
So that cord there, so
That's a
if
safety.
they pull it out of
If
your
they
If
hand.
they
pull it
pull
out
it
of your
out,
hand, it won't
they
work.
won't work. No,
Right,
it won't work.
that's what I like about
And they have
it.
little holsters and the whole 9 yards. And I will be offering classes down the road here again. But they come in all kind of colors and. I know.
We'll have to have her come back and do a class.
I could do that. Now, these are a little bigger. These are a little bit bigger on the stun gun. I sell a ton of these. They're great for home defense.
Yeah. Big to
Hiking.
carry around now.
We always took these hiking. It's a little bigger, it's a baton. I keep one by my front door. But if they grab it, they will get stunned. This one is the same, I don't know if this has a charger, but
So it's like a camouflage.
it is.
Oh.
Flashlight, stun. So, it's not just one stun, I mean, you can take a group with this. So these are really popular, because people like them for their house. These are 35. Yeah, I try to keep my prices really low.
Worst shot you could be in
Yeah.
You can use it as a
As a club.
You can hit somebody with it too. I can actually, I did carry some longer ones too, like a bat size. And I haven't bought those yet. So these are always a good one. And at that price, they're great. Hiking, we would wear the holster and, have it readily available through the mountains, because you never know where you're gonna run into. So I've scared many a coyote with it. And then the other stun gun, and I have some different sizes, but this is my newest one, because some people are like, well, I don't want to have to be right on top of them or whatever. This is a pepper gun. It looks like a gun, but it shoots pepper balls. So,
Mark, go stand up there.
Oh.
This, and it's not heavy at all. It's a semi-automatic. You can load 6. You can either load metal balls, rubber balls, or pepper balls. It will shoot 60 feet, so you don't have to be accurate. If
So
you
it's
shoot
kind of like a pellet gun.
Yeah.
Kind
In
of.
some ways.
Yeah, and kind of like a pellet gun. It has the CO2 that goes in here, and then you know, you can even get a scope for it, but,
A scope?
yeah, yeah.
If it only
But
goes
the
60
thing about it
feet,
is-
really?
You know, Tom, I think Ann's giving some ideas
I love it for home use.
What are you getting at?
I like it for home use. Like, I wouldn't probably walk around with it in a holster like this because it looks like a gun. But I like it for home use because if you have someone on your property that shouldn't be and they won't leave, or there's an animal out there and you have animals, you can shoot this, you don't have to be accurate. And now pepper spray is gonna go in a big ball. Or you could shoot, my husband shoots at the coyotes with the rubber ball. Because we don't want them getting used to coming in our yard and they want to all the time. So I like it for home defense. And these run $175. They're a little pricier, but you don't have to be up on the cruiser. Then of course we have our pepper spray. I sell these for $10. These will shoot 16 feet. You have some. Now, just remember, pepper spray does expire, so if you've had it 3 years, it isn't going to do you any good.
And I'm gonna give you a warning about pepper spray if you try to use it on dogs, because I did animal control for 12 years. Sometimes it will not stop a dog, and it may make them more,
Yeah.
make them
Now,
madder,
yeah,
and they will come
typically,
at you even
usually
more.
stops a dog.
It can, but in this,
Yeah, but I mean, if
I've
you
seen
get a dog
videos
that's
where
like
the
wild.
animal
Well,
control
wasp
tried to
spray,
pepper
they
spray and the
back
dog
off
went
with
after him.
wasp spray, don't they?
Well, here's the only thing
Huh?
I'll tell you about wasp spray. It's not approved by the FDA. So say you wasp spray me, I'm robbing you. I can file charges against you.
Wasp spray?
If they die, you will get charged for murder.
Yeah.
I always kept it next to my bed, and when I moved down here, every hotel I kept it at, and I still used to keep it next to my bed until the officer told me
Yeah.
I could be charged
You
with
could.
murder.
If they had
That's why I
the,
got
you know,
this.
mindset to do that, they could do that. But
Well, that would
they
be
say
quite
to
the
use-
warning label, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Cause I don't wanna be real close,
Oh,
my
no.
wasp spray will spray from here to you.
Yeah, yeah.
They
These
said
spray
no.
16
Bear spray.
feet.
This is called
Bear
guard
spray
dog
works good.
security.
Yeah. And I have one of those, a mace for
What's the
dogs.
difference between bear spray?
But this will be effective. But, this shoots 16 feet and it puts a dye on them also. Like,
Yeah, I
mean,
almost
like-
got that one.
Yeah. But the best range really is like about 6 feet. And then you always want to spray like Zorro because they'll move, so you want to make sure it gets on them. And it will incapacitate them, you know, for a while. The bad thing about pepper spray in Arizona is if it's windy, you can get that backlash from it.
Oh, my.
So if, and you don't want to use it in your house, but if you have to, then what you have to do is turn away from it. You know what you're doing, they don't. Hold your breath and spray it, and you won't get as much. So there's different little tricks on it. But I have pepper spray, but in my arsenal, I guess. But I don't, that's not my first go-to.
What's your first go-to?
My stun gun usually, now I just got these pepper guns, but I won't be carrying this with me, I'll have it at home. But my stun gun, I always have it ready, always have it with me, because you don't know, you know, and I'm comfortable with
I
it.
have this
Will
one
it
here
stop
that
a hamburger?
The pepper spray, the stun gun, they don't like the noise, they'll run.
No run.
Yeah, they don't like that noise, same with coyotes, they don't like the noise.
But there is something to keep in mind, 'cause I've seen it. Stun guns, the ones where they shoot the deals out.
Tasers.
The tasers.
If somebody is strung out on drugs, it won't have no effect on them. I
heard
watched
that.
Yep.
highway patrol shoot a guy 6 times with a taser.
Yeah, and I think it depends on the person, I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah.
call that a rule of thumb.
And he was fighting them. I'd been called to come tow their vehicle, and he
Mhm.
was fighting them. And he was getting the upper hand of 3 cops.
Yeah, and there's always exceptions. I
Yeah.
mean, you might have a person, pepper spray doesn't even affect them, you know.
I have
Most
this
people
one
it
here
does.
on my first one where I sit in my apartment, I have one on the land.
Yeah, yeah.
I sometimes used to have to go, when I went to Walmart, I have to carry it on.
Oh,
I
yeah,
got
and you know, they
crazy.
say that, someone's been hanging around that Ross Marshall.
Yes, I've seen that.
So, you know, I've been in situations where like, my husband will be running in somewhere, I'll be sitting in the truck with the window down, and see someone snooping around, and I'm thinking, make my day, honey, because I got this ready to go. You know, and so you have to get that confidence, and that comes from practice. And then I have striking tools. This is just one of them. I have other ones. I have some that look like a bulldog. You put them up, your feet in on them. We have this one. And these are striking tools. Coubatons, these are called. These are non-lethal, but they can become lethal very quick, depending on where you hit them. Chest, temples, ears. So I always call that my secret weapon. A lot of times I'll tuck it in my pants. Nobody can see it. But and those are things I go over in my class too. So it's just getting familiar with something that you find works for you and that you get comfortable with. Mostly I sell the stun guns more than anything. I just think it gives, I always tell them, don't be leaving it in your purse.
Why would you do it?
But
I bought mine, I don't know how many years ago. It's never been ever.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I preach to her all the time.
Well, you'd be ready somehow.
Hit them with the box at least.
Well, it's in the cupboard.
Oh.
But it's
I'm the
something.
worst example.
You mean you don't carry a brick in the bottom of your purse?
You want to know something I found when my mom passed away last year and we were in Michigan at her house? She had shivs. We found like 5 shivs in her house that she had stashed around different places. One by her, but then she had a great big old knife by her bed. So she had a knife and she had shivs, and we were just, maybe our kids were just dying. So we all have a shiv now.
Yeah. And knives, you know, I get a lot of people ask me about knives. I don't really sell knives. A knife, to me, I mean, you really have to know what you're doing with a knife when someone's attacking you, and you have to be within that certain range, because it could go bad fast.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have a false sense of security? I talk to my neighbors. I'm like out past Whetstone, presidential estates. No, none of my neighbors talk about ever having any crime. I mean, it almost feels like to me that there's so many guns in the homes in Cochise County that criminals are at bay on some of it. Am I reading that right?
Well, there are a lot of guns down here. You know, my husband's a gun nut. But here's the thing. There's times that you do not need to use a lethal weapon. You know, I mean, it depends on the situation, I guess. Or if it's an animal, like, you know, doing something it shouldn't. Do you really want to kill that animal, or you just want it to get away from you? So, and I do, because when I first moved down here from Ohio, I said, because I did this in Ohio, I've been doing it about 9 years. I said, it seems awful safe here with all the law enforcement. And I told people you'd be surprised what goes on. So it's just having that faith, because what if something happened and you had nothing with it?
Well, I'm just saying, having been, say, in the Denver area, where the crooks are like thieves or like police, you can't park your car in a parking lot because they are on it.
Yeah.
Here, I leave the windows down and the keys in, I don't think I'd have a problem.
Oh my gosh, you're crazy.
Well, you may say that, but I'm saying it's
I know what
almost
you
true.
mean, though. It's that false
It's
sense of
almost true.
security.
Leave right down the road here.
Well, I'm not saying it won't happen, Donna, I'm just saying the frequency doesn't seem to be much.
It's not
But
common.
I think it's more like just being prepared for anything, just like car insurance. You hope you never have to get it, but if you do, you're at least prepared.
Yeah.
You know, and have something. My daughter went in a thrift store in Tucson and they stole the bumper of her truck. She came out and she goes, I kept looking at the truck, I knew something looked different.
Yeah, you go to Tucson, it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah. And just even people, you know, knocking on the door. I
Especially
typically don't answer my door if I don't expect somebody, but I have that stun gun there, and I'm gonna have it on me. And, you know, I'd rather someone be offended by that than to have to worry about fighting somebody.
Yeah, I'm not arguing against it, I'm just asking the question, does it seem like it's just a lot less crime here than maybe some other areas?
Well, I think Depending on the area, yeah, because a lot of people do carry guns, and I think people know that. But I also think anybody that's been attacked never expected this. You know, I talk to victims all the time. They're like, I just never saw it coming on.
Yeah.
You know, and the home invasions. And, you know, we have our house staged, like, stuff in different areas that we know. Or you could even stage it with stuff you have, like, say you have a real heavy vase. Well, I'm gonna put that by my front door, because I know if I have to, I can grab that vase and hit somebody over the head. You wanna know what your plan is. They don't know what your plan is. And usually perpetrators or people that wanna do something bad, you know, they have no idea. It's the OODA loop, observe, orient, decide, and act. So that's already planned. Now you do something, you've screwed that up, now they have to recalculate what they're doing. So it's always good, I think, to be prepared for anything. I've never had to use it other than on animals, you know, as a stun gun.
Well, I'm listening on the radio how we need to secure our weapons, you know, and whatnot. I'm thinking, will I have time to open that safe?
Yeah. I don't
Before they
secure
get through
weapons.
the door?
I don't secure any of my weapons.
Yeah,
My
but that's
husband
what
has,
they
like-
were saying all the
Yeah,
time.
my husband has.
Particularly for suicide prevention.
Yeah, he has a couple things in the safe, but typically he has stuff planned for the.
Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah,
If you have kids or grandkids that are over, it's,
Yeah.
but
We don't have little kids.
I keep mine put up when my grandkids are over, but other than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they say if you do have kids in your home, the NRA says, you should teach them
Yeah,
about the
teach them.
weapons.
You should teach
Because
'em.
They shouldn't be afraid of it, because what if they're by themselves and something
We've
happens?
taken my grandson out and showed him how to shoot our
Yeah.
9mm and stuff like that and taught him.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say, back when I went to high school, our students used to come to high school and you'd have the gun rack and the guns in the back window of the truck.
On your truck, on the
Mhm.
back window,
Yeah.
that's where I
Mhm.
grew up.
Yeah,
And I never
and we
once
never
thought
had,
about pointing that
right,
weapon at
we
you.
never had any school
Not
shootings
I
back
even
then.
have, like,
Not
mothers
once.
come up to me and say, because you have to be 18 to buy a stun gun. Well, I want to get one for my 16-year-old, and I said, that's fine, I can sell it to you, but you have to be the one to determine if your child's responsible. And they're like, oh yeah, they're really responsible. Well, fine, because ultimately, if they do something wrong, they're going to come back and fix it. My grandson, they just got one of these, because, one of the pepper ones, because they live in Bisbee, but they live on 28 acres, it's real rural. And they get a lot of migrants that cross through and all kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
so he's learning, my husband's working with him in his
If you live
farm.
closer to the border, you're gonna get a lot of that.
She had,
Well,
at
they don't
first-
seem to be coming through here, that's why I'm
Yeah.
amazed.
Well, yeah, they do. They come
She-
right through the
before,
whetstones all the time.
When it was real bad with crossing, on her property, she has like 28 acres, she would find all those purses, shoes, and all
I
that.
found some items on my, I had
Yeah, the
16.
backpack.
I found like backpacks, but what my neighbor's saying is, in here, they don't come through here no more. Cause the base changed their policy on how they manage all that.
She still gets some, because she could always tell when it's going on.
But they're further away from the base.
Yeah, and she,
Yeah.
you wouldn't even know her house.
They come over these whetstone mountains.
Yeah.
You just don't hear about it. They come through here all the time.
Yeah, but not anything.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They're still coming through the whetstone mountains. Don't think they're not.
You know, but not like it was.
Some of those fires don't get started by lightning. They're getting started by the
Yeah.
people coming across those whetstone mountains.
Well, what I was told is that south of here, south of the Huachucas, it's really not a friendly area to be in to cross. And so the tendency to cross in that particular area is kind of, I was asking why the fence was one way and not the other, and they
Yeah.
said, well, they really don't come through here much, so
Yeah,
it's tough to
it
get
was
through.
terrible when she first moved in
Yeah.
years ago.
So-
She was, I mean, there was that border patrol would set up at the end of the drive.
But
And-
now you look, they got both border stations closed, like on 90 and 80. And then, my neighbor's been border patrol for over 20 years. He said he is really bored.
Yeah.
Which I'm thinking is a good thing.
That's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing.
So the crossings are way down. They
Oh,
got it.
yeah.
Different
Yeah.
president.
Yeah, he said the same thing.
I was
Yeah,
told
he
by
said the same
one of
thing
the police
immediately.
officers here in Washington City, that you shoot to kill.
Oh, yeah, if you take a
Because
gun
if you
out,
miss,
it's to kill.
they can come in
Yeah,
and get it
yeah.
away from you, and you're gonna be the dead.
That's what I tell everybody.
And make
If
sure
you-
that they get
If you take a gun
it
out,
fall into your
you're
house.
taking it out to kill somebody, not to scare them.
I told it to a lady at the Chase Bank one day, that they'll let you open carry into the Chase Bank.
Oh, really?
And, she reported me to the guard, and the guard said, yeah, we told him to start carrying.
Yeah.
She turned and looked at me, and I said, don't worry, man, if it comes out, you get behind this, cause bad guys coming. I said, close your eyes. She said, why? I said, cause I'm gonna shoot him between the eyes and kill him.
Yeah.
Well, why not wound him? I said,
Why?
cause a dead person cannot send you.
Shoot to kill,
Yeah.
told by the officer, and said.
Yeah, I mean, I have women that come up to me sometimes and they'll say, well, I have a gun. I go, do you know how to use it? Well, no, but I'll scare them. I go, you're dead. I'll tell you
Yeah.
right now. If you pull a gun out
Saturday, but I think
and
she-
aim it, and they have a gun, you're dead.
Even if they don't know how to use it.
Yeah, if you don't know how to use it,
I
I said, all you have is a paperweight. You don't have a gun.
If you pull a gun out, you better be able to use it, and you better
Practice
be
with
willing
I
to
go,
use
"Do you
it.
practice with your gun? No. Well, then you shouldn't be carrying it.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Which
thank
one
you.
did you pick out for?
Well, thank you so much.
I'd sleep
And
lightly
if you have any
tonight.
questions or anything, don't hesitate to call.